Hi there friends, and welcome to another episode of ZAXCHAT, where we talk about movies and more. Today we're taking a step back from the usual format of movie reviewing to have a chat about the upcoming live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast that's coming out a little bit later in the year. Personally, I find there's one big question hanging over this film. That is, do we need it? Beauty and the Beast is my favourite Disney animated movie. I remember seeing it multiple times at the cinema with my family, and from the opening monologue, there's definitely an air of darkness to this magical world that draws you in. For the time, the animation is amazing, the songs are ridiculously catchy, and the moral of looking beneath the surface to find true beauty is a great lesson for anyone of any age. As a kid, the Beast genuinely scared me. Cogsworth and Lumiere were fantastic comic relief, and Gaston and LeFou were the villains that you love to hate. Beauty and the Beast is a timeless classic. Which begs the question, why do we need a remake? Well, this is part of the current trend with Disney. Whilst their Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm divisions are doing very well with their own respective franchises, it did seem that the classic Disney movies were getting left behind. So it was a few years ago that they decided to start doing live-action remakes, reboots, reimagining, sequels and spin-offs and all different kinds of things with these classic tales. And some of them have actually been pretty good. Back in 2014 we got Maleficent, which I thought was a really good movie. Very well made, it told an intriguing story with some great performances. Back in 2015 we got a live-action Cinderella, which was also very well received by the fans. They went so far as to even recreate shots exactly how they were in the animated classic. Then, perhaps the best of the bunch so far, in 2016 we got Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book, which was a stunning movie. Excellent celebrity voiceovers, an excellent breakout performance by s2e2, I hope I'm saying that name correctly, and photorealistic computer-generated imagery. It was amazing that you weren't looking at a real animal, that this was computer-generated. The special effects in that movie were a technological triumph. But when the news came that the next on the list was going to be a live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast, some of us had a bit of a mixed reaction. I remember the day I found out. I remember my friend said to me, "Hey Zakk, did you hear they've announced they're doing live-action Beauty and the Beast?" And my reaction was sort of like a, yeah, I don't know. It was a moment of overwhelming confusion. On the one hand, I've always wanted to see a live-action reboot of Beauty and the Beast done by Disney, but on the other hand, I got this feeling that it's never really going to live up to the original. Nostalgia's a funny thing like that, and for so many people, Beauty and the Beast is hugely nostalgic. Then came the casting announcements, and this is where things started to feel a little bit off for me. First off, we got Emma Watson as Belle. Now, I have a lot of respect for Emma Watson. Obviously, her breakout performance as Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter series was fantastic. She's also a pioneer for equal rights. She's a young person with a severely mature head on her shoulders, and I think that's fantastic. But I have trouble seeing her as Belle. Whenever I see Emma Watson in a movie or on screen for whatever reason, she always has this vaguely disappointed look on her face, and that's not a characteristic I attribute to Belle. Belle is a character who gets swept off in adventures, gets stuck in book for days at a time with a wild imagination, and I just have trouble seeing Emma Watson pulling that off. But I will say that from what we've heard so far, it does sound like Emma Watson has the singing voice to pull off Belle's songs, which is really, really great. Next up was Luke Evans as Gaston. Now, I really like Luke Evans as well. I think he's a great actor. I've really enjoyed some of his movies, specifically Dracula Untold. I had a great time with that. But again, I don't see him as Gaston. He doesn't seem physically big enough for the role, nor figuratively over the top enough for the role. Even though it's a bit on the nose, I actually think Dwayne Johnson probably would have played the role better because he has that over-the-top nature. There are some other big names in this remake as well. Ewan McGregor as Lumiere, Ian McKellen as Cogsworth, Emma Thompson as Mrs. Potts. Now, I'm sure these actors are going to do amazing work with their roles. However, I very much doubt that for me, their performances are going to outdo the original performances in the animated movie. To be honest, even though they are great actors, hearing anybody do the voices of these characters that aren't the original cast seems vaguely, well, to use a word that Emperor Palpatine would use, unnatural. And just recently, we got a look at the first trailer. Now, I will say from the get-go that it really does look like they've nailed the setting of this story, the neo-Gothic architecture, the scenery, it all looks on point, so I'm really glad to see that. But I was waiting for this trailer for one very important reason. It was the make or break for me, and that is, of course, the Beast, the center point of this amazing story. Like I said earlier, when I was a kid, the Beast terrified me. He was this nightmarish creature, the soul of a scared little boy, bound to this body that looked to be the unholy union between a demon and a werewolf, something dragged from hell itself. I'm sorry, Dan Stevens, but that's not my Beast. It's not the Beast I grew up with, and to be honest, I'm kind of disappointed about how it looks. Now, in all honesty, maybe I am being a bit harsh. I haven't seen the movie yet, and precedent has been set that these remakes can be done well, as we talked about earlier. I very much doubt that I'm going to hate this version of Beauty and the Beast. I just don't think it's going to eclipse the original in any way. At the end of the day, when you have something from your childhood that was crafted to perfection, a tale or a movie or a book or anything that you look back on with a sense of fondness and happy memories and childlike innocence, is there any new version of that that can live up to the original? Alright. Apparently it can, and apparently Disney specialise in doing it. So really, I do have reason to be optimistic for Beauty and the Beast. But I'm sure for me, and for many of you out there, this new version has got some very, very big shoes to fill. What do you think, guys? Are you looking forward to Beauty and the Beast? Do you think we need these live-action remakes of Disney classics? Well, whether you think so or not, we are getting them. Obviously this year we get Beauty and the Beast, but moving forward we're also going to get Mulan, Dumbo, The Sword and the Stone, Aladdin, a Cruella de Vil spin-off, Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Maleficent 2, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Fantasia, The Little Mermaid. Almost everything in Disney's catalogue is getting a live-action remake. I'm very curious to know your thoughts on this, guys, so please leave your comments down below. Tell me which ones you're looking forward to and how you feel about Beauty and the Beast. Thank you so much for watching ZAXCHAT again. If you could please take the time to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, I would be so appreciative. Thanks very much for watching. My name is Zakk. Peace, love, and respect.